want to talk today about survival knives. In my opinion, many survival knives on the market are built just too solid. If you think about smaller knives like this one, a small knife like this can never be a real survival knife because it is just too small to make sure that you survive. And many companies, they build survival knives in this size and make them really thick, with a really thick blade so that you can use it as a can opener to cut through a car door or something like that. But in my opinion, that is not a good idea because you are going to lose a lot of the cutting capabilities if you are carving wood and cutting wood. Obviously, if you want to cut through a car door, then that is exactly the right thing for you. But if you go out in the woods and you are going to work with wood, then you probably don't want to have a knife that is too thick. The reasons why I would carry a blade in that size would be as a company with a big blade or machete, or if the local laws don't allow me to carry anything bigger than that. But for me, knives in this size cannot be a real survival knife. You want to have something bigger, something like that. A knife in this size is for me a real survival knife. But also in this size you don't want to make them too heavy, too thick, because a survival knife should be something that you carry all the time with you. If you make it too heavy, you are not going to carry it all the time with you. And especially this one here got a relatively thin blade. The blade is just around 3 millimeters thick. That is like a Mora Robust. But still I can baton with it and do everything that I can do with a thicker blade also. If I'm not going to cut through a car door or something like that, if I'm going to work with wood, this is just fine. And you want to keep the handle as light as possible, so there should be some holes in the tang. This is what I would bring for a hike. Let's say you are going to carry a tent or a hammock and a tarp and you bring your own food. Then this one is the way to go. It is lightweight enough to carry it with you and you don't even know if you really need it. But if you need it and something goes wrong, you can do everything with it. No doubt. If I'm going into the woods with the intention to build and practice bushcraft and survival skills, or maybe I go into the forest for a long time, then I'm going to bring a full-size machete. If I bring a full-size machete, I'm always going for something that is also lightweight, because if you are going to work the whole day with it, you will feel the difference. Just of a few grams or a few ounces, you will feel the difference. And the advantage of a long blade is also that you get a high speed. If you are going to cut something light, you get a high speed at the tip. If I have a short and heavy wood splitter, I'm not able to get a high speed and to chop small veins and branches that are hanging in front of me. And people underestimate long and slim designs, because even this is relatively lightweight, I can still make with it or do with it hard chops in this area here. Why this area? Because of the leverage effect. If I hit something with the tip, it is going to be just a light impact with a high speed, perfect for small branches. In this area is like an all-round area. The speed is not so high and the force behind it is also medium. If I'm going to chop something in this area, the tip area actually acts as a leverage effect. And I have in this area a low speed but a high impact, a high force behind the impact. that makes me able to cut hard wood. Or, for example, if I'm going to cut a coconut and I have my fingers close to the edge, I don't want a high speed. So I'm going to use this area here with a low speed but a high force behind the stroke. In terms of survival, it is obviously a good idea to bring a knife with a full tank construction, like this one here. But if you are going to use that as a companion knife with a bigger blade, I would seriously think about bringing a Mora, for example. It is a good idea to bring a stainless steel knife because you can use it for food preparation. High carbon steel and food doesn't fit together. Mora knives are really good about that because the handle is plastic, so no water can harm it, and if you choose the stainless steel one, it will not rust at all. And that is perfect and easy to clean if you prepare food with it or if you have to cut up an animal. For all of those knives, a Victorinox Alox is a good companion. Doesn't matter which one of those survival knives, and Victorinox Alox is always a good choice because of the awl. The position of the awl is at the end, not in the middle, like the old school ones. That gives me a lot more control over the holes that I'm going to drill. This is the Victorinox Alox that I prefer, with the awl here, a regular plate and a hooked plate, what is probably good for gutting animals, and a saw. So bottom line, for me, mini machetes. Mini machetes are the way to go. Mini machetes have a very good balance point. They are not like knives, they are like machetes in small. So they are meant to be chopped. And that saves you time. It is totally right that you can do a lot of tasks also with smaller knives, but it will take a lot longer. And you are running out of time then in a survival situation. The day got only 24 hours and you want to sleep a few hours. And with a mini machete you are able to chop. That is a lot faster. So you will save time and that will make you survive. This one here is my personal favorite because it is lightweight. The weight is below 400 grams. That makes it very easy to carry or very comfortable to carry. And the handle is relatively small and lightweight. That gives me a good balance point, even it is a full tank construction. So think about it. Don't always choose a very thick blade. This blade thickness of 3 mm is just enough to do everything that I want. It doesn't have to be much more. One thing that I forgot to mention is the use as a weapon. I think a survival blade should be possible to use as a weapon. Not primarily, but it should be possible. And a long and lightweight blade will give you a big advantage because you can move it fast, a lot faster than a short and heavy blade. And a pointy tip will pierce better. That's why I have also a design of this blade with a bowie tip, because the bowie tip will pierce better. Of course, it's a big difference if you just go for 2 hours into the forest at the weekend and practice survival and bushcraft skills, or if you really go into the remote parts of the world. If you really go into the remote areas, you will realize that there is no police. And some people might learn it the hard way. So that have been my thoughts about survival knives. I hope you liked it. Please check out the other videos on my channel and I'll catch you in the next one.